Uh, the last video I did was from a video with Paul Turek and people in his audience. And I thought I'd share another one from this same video. Again, it's down in the description below. Look at it uh, and go look at other things with Paul Turek. He's really interesting to listen to him talk to all these people who are trying to prove him wrong, have their own philosophies, and it may help you in your own considerations about things. Um, this particular discussion comes from a guy who claims that God didn't create, that somehow the universe uh, was formed by some forces that were not God, some kind of natural forces that were not God. And, so from another dimension, something came from another dimension anyway. You can listen to the guy describe his own idea about how he thinks it could have possibly happened. So he's claiming that God didn't create. Turek says that, whatever we call the first cause, as he concludes in his argument with this guy, discussion with this guy, whatever we call, and this isn't a quote, but it's close to it, whatever we call the first cause, that, as long as the first cause is outside the universe, and it has to be, the universe is created from something outside of itself, right? That whatever this other guy wants to call the first cause, Turek is saying that's what Christians call God. We don't know everything about God. We know He's the Creator. That's a Christian's viewpoint. You can think that it was an alien. You can think that we live in a test tube if you want to. You can come up with all kind of ideas of what you think is true if you want to. Christians call this entity, this force beyond the universe, God. This force that put things together, that caused what we call a Big Bang. He caused the Big Bang. If you want to blow off a firecracker, you light the fuse. That firecracker doesn't blow up on its own, right? It takes you to light the fuse. So then this guy evolves. The discussion involves in, well, in that case, I can't remember how it gets that, but it gets to the discussion about people, and you can tell this guy has been raised largely Christian because he sort of accepts some things readily without having an argument about it. He doesn't have to. In other words, he doesn't have to have extra explanation about things. So they sort of quickly move into this. He makes a comment about people having. If there's only a heaven and a hell, if God created heaven and hell, and there's only a heaven and hell, then people don't have a choice. They have to choose to be with God. Well, of course, that's nonsensical as a Christian. Obviously, this guy wants to go to heaven. If he's not going, if he's not going to be able to accept that there's no God, if he's got to accept a God, then he wants to go to heaven. From this line of discussion. So he doesn't really have a choice now. He's got to choose follow God because God's going to send him to hell if he doesn't do what he's supposed to do. Well, Turek clarifies that for him, and he uses a good example. He talks about if a girl has a guy who's pursuing her, and he's bringing her candies and flowers and such, jewelry, whatever. He's doing all he can to woo her. And, she likes him, but just as a friend, okay? And there's nothing he can do to get her attention to say she loves him. Now, I have a really good friend who sort of went through that situation. And one day he finally said, well, it's gone on long enough. Now, he loved his future wife, but his future wife wasn't buying into it. She just wanted to be a friend. And he finally says, okay, you're either going to be my girlfriend and future wife, or we're done. I'm not going to be your friend. And bingo, all of a sudden she realized what she had, and They have been married for decades now. Okay, so but Turek is saying, at some point, if the guy loves the girl, he can't make her love him. There's nothing he can do. He can't kidnap her and stick her in a mansion with everything that she could want. That doesn't make her love him. So he's got to let her go because and because it's her choice to either love him or not to love him. And that's the way it is with God. You can either love him or you don't have to love him. You can reject them or you can follow him. You can accept him. But it's your choice. God's not the one who's sending you to hell. Now, Turek probably says things much clearer than I. You should, again, look at that comment below and see what you think about it. And give me a like. And again, we're looking for truth here. What is true? What has integrity? We can't just make up stuff and say, well, because I don't want to do something, it's evil. Okay? Or because I don't want to do something, it can't be true. Well, all kind of things can be evil and true that we don't want to do. Or can be, they can be evil that we do want to do, and they can be false that we do want to do, or they can be true that we don't want to do, and they can be good that we don't want to do. Anyway, seek truth. Pray to the Creator that all you want to know is the truth, and I'm confident you're going to find it. Have a good day.